Understand that time is the currency of life. Time is the most powerful and the most misunderstood force in our lives. Everyone is running, chasing something: money, success, validation, or attention, but very few stop and realize that the real currency they are trading for everything is their time. You can recover from heartbreak, you can rebuild your career, you can restart your business, but you can never rewind a single minute once it's gone. Time is life in motion, and how you spend it determines the quality of the life you live. Most people treat time like it's infinite, as if they have endless tomorrows waiting for them, but every tomorrow is a gift, not a guarantee. The people who truly succeed in life are the ones who understand this truth early, that every hour is either building your future or erasing it. When you wake up in the morning, you are handed 24 golden hours, a blank canvas on which you can paint your dreams, your growth, and your legacy. Yet, so many of us let those hours disappear into meaningless distractions. We drown ourselves in digital noise, endless scrolling, mindless gossip, and temporary pleasures that add no real value to who we are. And then, we wonder why our lives feel stagnant, why we feel lost or unfulfilled. The truth is, it's not the lack of opportunities that holds us back, it's how we waste the opportunities time gives us every single day. If you want to spend your time wisely, you must first become aware of where it's going. Awareness is the beginning of transformation. Track your habits, notice your distractions, and be brutally honest with yourself about how much of your day is spent on things that bring you closer to your vision, and how much is wasted on things that drain your energy. People often say they don't have enough time, but that's not true. Everyone has the same 24 hours. The difference lies in how you choose to use them. Some use their time to build empires, while others use it to escape reality. Success isn't built on luck or talent alone, it's built on focus, discipline, and intentional use of time. The wisest thing you can do is start treating time as your most precious investment. Imagine if every hour had a price tag attached to it, how differently would you spend it? You wouldn't waste it on gossip, you wouldn't waste it trying to prove your worth to people who don't matter, and you wouldn't spend it replaying past mistakes that can't be changed. Instead, you would invest it in growth, in learning, in creating something that lasts beyond you. When you realize that time is your currency, you stop spending it recklessly. You start budgeting it for the things that truly matter: your goals, your peace, your evolution. People often say they're waiting for the right time, but the right time doesn't exist. Waiting for perfect conditions is how time silently slips away. The truth is, the right time is the moment you decide to start. Every second you spend waiting for certainty is a second lost in fear. Time doesn't slow down for anyone, it keeps moving, whether you move with it or not. Those who succeed are not the ones who have more time, they are the ones who use the time they have without hesitation. When you learn to respect your time, everything in your life begins to change. You start saying no more often: no to distractions, no to negativity, no to anything that doesn't align with your purpose. You stop being busy and start being productive. You stop chasing everything and start focusing on what truly matters. You realize that you don't need to do everything. You just need to do the right things with intention and consistency. Time is not something you manage, it's something you honor. It's not about having time, it's about making time for what matters most. Every time you choose to prioritize your purpose over your comfort, you are wisely investing your time. Every time you choose to work on your dream instead of scrolling through someone else's life, you are multiplying the value of your hours. The truth is, time rewards those who respect it. If you treat it carelessly, it slips away unnoticed, but if you treat it with respect, it gives back more than you can imagine: success, peace, and fulfillment. The people who reach greatness are not necessarily faster or smarter, they simply live with a different sense of urgency. They understand that every second counts. They understand that someday will never come, so they make today count. They stop living in the illusion of later, because later is where dreams go to die. Time is not an enemy, it's your silent partner, guiding you toward your destiny if you choose to walk with awareness. When you start treating your time as the sacred, non-renewable resource it is, you begin to make choices that honor your future self. You stop letting fear, doubt, and distraction steal your days because you finally understand that every wasted moment is a piece of your life you'll never get back. And in that realization, you discover the essence of success. It's not found in the years you live, but in how wisely you live your years. When you become conscious of how valuable your time is, you begin to live differently. You plan with purpose, act with intention, and move with clarity. You understand that time doesn't wait, so you stop waiting too. You stop settling for average because you realize that mediocrity costs time, the most expensive thing you own. You stop measuring your life by how long you've lived and start measuring it by how deeply you've lived within the time you were given. Prioritize growth over comfort. Every human being is born with the same gift, time. But what separates those who succeed from those who stay stuck is how they choose to use it. Most people spend their lives chasing comfort, seeking ease and avoiding struggle, believing that happiness is found in stillness and convenience. But the truth is, comfort is the silent killer of potential. Growth never happens in comfort. Every successful person you admire, every dreamer who turned their vision into reality, made one defining choice: they chose growth over comfort every single day. When you spend your time wisely, you stop feeding your comfort zone and start investing in your growth zone. Comfort makes you feel safe, but growth makes you strong. Comfort tells you that you have time. Growth reminds you that you don't. Comfort whispers that you can start tomorrow. Growth challenges you to start now. The difference between where you are and where you want to be lies in how you manage that battle between comfort and growth every day. It's easy to stay in bed when you should be building, to watch one more episode when you should be learning, to complain about your circumstances instead of changing them. But every moment you choose comfort, you lose a piece of your future. Every time you delay your growth, you delay your success. Success is not an accident, it is the sum of disciplined choices made over time. Every time you use your time to learn, to create, to push your limits, you are building a foundation that no one can take from you. When you prioritize growth, you stop measuring your days by how easy they felt and start measuring them by how much you learned, how much you progressed, and how much stronger you became. Growth is uncomfortable, it's uncertain, it's filled with moments that test your patience and your willpower, but it's also where transformation happens. You can't build a meaningful life if you're afraid of being uncomfortable. Growth demands that you face your fears, that you confront your weaknesses, and that you accept that pain is not your enemy, it's your teacher. Every failure, every rejection, every setback is a lesson disguised as struggle. People waste so much time avoiding pain when pain is exactly what sharpens your vision. The more you resist growth, the more life keeps repeating the same lessons until you finally learn them. When you start valuing growth, you stop running from discomfort because you realize that discomfort is a sign you are expanding. It means you're doing something your old self wasn't brave enough to do. The wisest way to spend your time is to dedicate it to evolving. Read more, learn more, explore more, reflect more. Instead of running toward ease, run toward challenge. Every challenge you face is a doorway to your next level. Most people never become who they are meant to be because they keep choosing comfort today and expecting results tomorrow. But success doesn't work like that. It rewards those who are willing to work hard in silence, who use their time not to escape reality, but to shape it. You have to stop confusing busyness with progress. Just because you're doing something doesn't mean you're growing. The question you should always ask yourself is this helping me become the person I'm meant to be? If not, you're wasting your most valuable asset, your time. Growth requires intention. It requires saying no to what is easy so you can say yes to what is meaningful. It requires choosing the path that demands more effort, more focus, and more resilience because that's the path that leads to mastery. The people who achieve greatness are not the ones who had it easy, they are the ones who used their time to build discipline. They understood that motivation is temporary, but discipline is eternal. Motivation can start your journey, but discipline is what carries you when everything feels heavy. And discipline only grows when you stop letting comfort control you. You have to train your mind to do what needs to be done even when you don't feel like it. That's how success is born, not in the moments when you feel inspired, but in the moments when you keep going despite not wanting to. When you prioritize growth, you start seeing your time differently. You start valuing solitude because it allows you to reflect. You start valuing challenges because they build your strength. You start valuing learning because it expands your perspective. And slowly, your habits change. You stop wasting hours on distractions that numb you, and you start creating habits that build you. Growth is not a destination. It's a daily decision to use your time in a way that aligns with your purpose. You also begin to understand that growth is not just about your career or your goals. It's about your mind, your emotions, and your spirit. It's about becoming wiser, more resilient, more at peace with who you are. It's about using your time to break patterns that have held you back and to create new ones that empower you. The more you grow, the more your vision expands. You begin to see possibilities where others see problems, opportunities where others see obstacles. And that shift happens only when you make growth your daily priority. Comfort might feel good in the moment, but it costs you progress. It steals your potential silently. Every minute you spend avoiding challenge is a minute you could have used to build the life you dream of. The people who inspire you today are the same ones who once felt fear, doubt, and exhaustion, but they used their time to grow through it instead of escaping it. They sacrificed comfort for clarity, and that's why they stand where they are. Growth takes time, but it's the only investment that always multiplies in value. When you choose growth, you are not just shaping your future, you are shaping who you become, and that's the most powerful use of your time. Surround yourself with purpose and intentional energy. The way you spend your time is deeply influenced by the company you keep. You can't live a purposeful life if you're surrounded by people who waste theirs. Energy is contagious, and whether you realize it or not, the people around you are constantly shaping how you think, how you act, and how you use your time. You become a reflection of what surrounds you. That's why it's not enough to simply manage your hours. You have to manage the energy that fills those hours. Every person you allow into your space either adds value to your life or quietly drains it. When you start becoming intentional about who you share your time with, your entire world begins to shift. There's a reason successful people protect their time so fiercely. They understand its sacredness. They know that time spent in the wrong environment is time stolen from their destiny. You can't expect to grow when you're surrounded by small-minded energy. You can't chase greatness when you're constantly distracted by people who have no vision of their own. Every conversation, every interaction, every moment you share with someone is either fueling your progress or feeding your stagnation. That's why you must surround yourself with people who carry purpose, individuals who inspire you, challenge you, and remind you of your potential when you forget it yourself. Purposeful people make you uncomfortable in the best way. They force you to level up. They make you reflect on your habits, your choices, and your goals. They don't entertain mediocrity because they live with intention. When you spend time around such energy, it awakens something within you. It shifts your perspective. It reminds you that time isn't something to waste, it's something to invest wisely. The energy of driven, passionate, and self-aware individuals elevates your standards. It teaches you discipline without words because their consistency becomes contagious. You start realizing that your environment is shaping your mind, set more than your motivation ever could. You cannot evolve in chaos. You cannot focus in noise. You cannot dream in doubt. If you are constantly surrounded by people who complain more than they act, who gossip more than they grow, who survive instead of thrive, your mind will start absorbing that same vibration. You begin to accept average as normal, and once you accept it, you stop striving for more. That's why protecting your energy isn't selfish, it's survival. You have to create boundaries so strong that only purpose-driven energy can enter your space. Not everyone deserves access to you. Not everyone should have the privilege of your time. When you start filtering your surroundings, you'll notice something powerful: peace. Peace gives you clarity, and clarity gives you control over your time. When your mind is calm, you make better decisions. You stop reacting and start responding. You stop wasting time fixing other people's chaos and start building your own foundation. This is how intentional energy transforms your relationship with time. You start prioritizing people who pour into you instead of those who drain you. You start seeking depth over attention, meaning over noise, and truth over comfort. It's not about having a big circle, it's about having a strong one. Even one person with the right energy can change the direction of your life. Surround yourself with people who talk about ideas, not people. People who push you to grow, not to settle. People who value progress more than popularity. Their presence will remind you that your time is valuable, that your vision matters, and that your energy must be protected at all costs. Every conversation with such people feels like nourishment to your soul, not exhaustion. You leave feeling inspired, not drained. That's the kind of energy that multiplies success. The truth is, your environment will either build you or break you. You can't plant seeds of ambition in toxic soil and expect them to grow. You need to surround yourself with those who water your dreams, not those who trample on them. You need people who believe in your potential even when you doubt yourself. Every successful journey is built upon the foundation of a supportive, intentional environment. The people around you don't have to share your exact dream, but they must respect your dedication to it. They must value growth as much as you do. When you start choosing your circle with purpose, you'll notice your mindset evolving. You'll find yourself speaking differently, thinking differently, even feeling differently. Your habits will shift because the energy around you will demand it. You'll start valuing silence more than shallow conversations. You'll start preferring time spent creating over time spent comparing. You'll start realizing that success has less to do with effort alone and more to do with the environment that shapes that effort. Intentional energy doesn't just influence your actions, it defines your standards, but surrounding yourself with purpose doesn't always mean adding more people. Sometimes it means subtracting. Growth often requires isolation. It requires you to walk away from those who no longer align with your path, not out of pride, but out of peace. There comes a point where you must protect your energy so fiercely that anything that doesn't match your frequency automatically fades away. You begin to understand that solitude isn't loneliness, it's preparation. It's in those quiet moments that you hear your own thoughts clearly, where you plan, build, and evolve without distraction. When you spend time with intentional energy, your entire sense of time changes. You no longer chase temporary validation, you chase long-term fulfillment. You stop counting hours and start counting impact. You realize that every moment spent with purpose-driven people brings you closer to your higher self. The more intentional your environment becomes, the more productive your time feels. You stop wasting energy explaining your vision to those who can't see it, and instead, you spend it expanding your vision with those who do. Every minute you give to someone is a piece of your life you'll never get back, so give it wisely. Spend your time where energy flows both ways. Spend it where your soul feels seen and your dreams feel supported. Because the people around you shape your mindset, your habits, and your future. The more purposeful your circle becomes, the more powerful your use of time will be, and the more aligned you'll become with